Mount of Olives, so that's where we are. When that happens, the dead will rise. And that's the reason why we have a Jewish cemetery just down from us here, because they like to be where that is going to happen. They're going to go with the Messiah, walk into Jerusalem. Christians believe that Jesus will come back on the Mount of Olives because the angels told the disciples that he will come back the way that he went up. And that makes sense, that if he's going to come back the way he went up, he's going to come down where he went up from. And he went up to heaven from the Mount of Olives. Okay?
Which is right here?
Which is on the Mount of Olives. Not right here, but it's here. The reason why we start at this point has to do with the way that Jesus would have walked on Palm Sunday. You remember Palm Sunday? The King of Kings riding on a donkey? People putting down palm branches. Does it make sense to put down palm branches? It must be difficult for a donkey to walk on palm branches. I don't know if you realized that on some of the coins there was a palm. A palm in the old days is actually a symbol of victory. Okay? So they put down palm branches as a sign of victory. But he would have to walk on that. And then he came, we know from Martha and Mary and Lazarus, they stayed in Bethany just on the other side of the Mount of Olives. And so most probably he would come this way and more or less walk the same way that we're going to walk down to the Garden of Gethsemane. If you look down, you see the Kidron Valley. Okay? On the other side of the Kidron Valley, you can see a wall going alongside a Muslim cemetery. You see that there is a cemetery from that? I mean, the whole thing, the whole eastern wall actually is covered by a Muslim cemetery. You know why? The reason why is simply because the Messiah is the high priest. The high priest, the King of Kings. The high priest, yes? Or the high priest of the high priest. Okay? And they also believe that if the Messiah comes, he's the high priest, he cannot have anything to do with dead or dying people if he wants to enter the Temple Mount. So in order to prevent that prophecy from coming true, they simply made sure that there is a cemetery in front of that particular gate that he probably walked through. You see, he can walk through. There's a gate, a double gate at the middle of that wall, and it has been closed. The Crusaders did that. But that is probably the gate that Jesus will walk in and up on the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is the entire area where you can see it starts from the southern corner here. It has the mosque with a gray dome. That's the Al-Aqsa Mosque. In the middle, it has a domed, golden domed sanctuary to Muslims. That's the Dome of the Rock. Probably in that area, that's where the temple used to be. And then where all the trees are, that is still the Temple Mount. Okay? The Temple Mount was an area that it was the top of a mountain that Herod fenced in with a wall, or kind of closed in with a wall so that he could get a big platform. And what he did back 2,000 years ago is still visible today. Okay? So that entire area is actually the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount area. Alright? When Jesus walked down, he probably walked down this way because he had to go across the Kidron Valley down here. And we can't see it too clear here, but if you look over to where these two white buses are standing, and you see these cars are moving down there, it makes a 90-degree curve. You see that? Yeah. That's where the road follows and crosses over to the other side of the Kidron Valley. And most probably where they build the bridge today is where they would have built the bridge 2,000 years ago, because it's the narrowest and most practical place to do so. And that's why I believe that it makes sense that this would have been the same place 2,000 years ago. Although it will be more deep down because it has been filled with debris and everything. Okay, remember that from the movie yesterday? They also said that the Kidron Valley would be much more deeper than it is today. It's kind of been filled in with all kinds of stuff in the course of time. So the Garden of Gethsemane is just down from here.